Morning. Welcome to Mornings with Noble, where authenticity lives and thrives to create a space of growth, healing, and joy. I am your host, Andrea Lawful Sanders, and each day we will cover the topics that are informative and engaging while learning from each other. Good morning to each and every one of you. It is Wednesday, November 17th, 2024. I'm looking. Let's see. There we go. It is my sister's birthday. My sister Karen is another year older today. She is now officially my age. We once a year, around for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the year, we share the same age. Our mother gave birth to me in January and gave birth to her in December, and so we've been Irish twins for as long as we can remember. And there are days when I look at her and I say, "Wow, you are just so like she says what she says, means what she says, the whole thing." And my husband looked at me and said, "You just like her." Just like her. So my little Irish twin, happy birthday, my Irish twin. I hope you have a great day today. She sent a thing. I think they threw a party for her last night, and she sent a video, a whole 4-minute video of her doing some new reggae dance, and it looked like she had a great time at her party. Because excuse me, I asked her if she was going to take the day off. And she says, "No, my dear, I have to work. It takes cash to care." And she runs her husband's medical office. So, um, happy birthday, darling. Happy birthday. I feel a little discombobulated today because there's been a lot going on. I do have a guest at 7 this morning. And so just, kind of want to knock out some of the things that are going on before that happens. But let me do the morning motivation for all of you. Mm, my goodness. Some years ago, I was invited by a friend to celebrate and support a fundraiser for her organization. And so there I was, hamming it up with the attendees when a man approached my seat. Him, in a hostile manner, said to me, "This is my seat." I looked at him and I said, "My apologies. I had no intentions of staying here. I was just saying hello to the people at the table." He then looked at me again and says, "Well, I need my seat right now because I want to sit next to my wife." I turned and looked at his wife, who looked mortified at his behavior, but she put on her best smile as he sat down, like a puffed up peacock just pleased with himself. And then I was introduced as the keynote for the evening. Without even looking in their direction, I got up and handled my business, but his unseeming behavior stuck with me as a lesson for the future. That same Saturday, my husband and I offered to take a couple of people to the country club. He opened their doors along with mine, made certain we were seated, and closed them. He did the same when we alighted from the car. He not only saw to my needs, but any other lady around us, and would cut out his tongue before putting a woman out of his seat. Perfect gentleman. These are some of the things we should come to expect for ourselves, ladies. A man's character speaks volumes. And we return the favor by being the kind of mates our men would love and be proud of. If he treats women any old kind of way, it's only a matter of time before he does it to you. We want the loaf and not just the crumbs. Good morning. That's self-explanatory, right? We Sometimes we choose any old thing or any old body because we think we're never going to find the love or the mate that we want to, and that time is running out, and so we're just doing whatever we want. I need us to be really mindful about how we choose. If they are not kind to the people around them, if they're not kind to, and that's either whether you're dating a man or a woman, if they don't treat the people around them well, if they're barking at people, uh you know without caring what people think around them, then you want to be careful that you not spend a whole lot of time trying to be in business with them. And B, if it's a love interest, make a note of it, because whatever happens publicly is probably 10 times worse privately, right? And so I took that on. I mean, he looked crazy. And he happened to be related to the woman who asked me to be the keynote that day. Crazy, ain't it? Crazy. Showed his entire behind. I don't know if they're still married today. I just don't know. But we've got to be mindful, right? Watch see how they treat the waitresses, not just how they treat their mamas, but how do they treat the people around them? What does that look like? So just be thoughtful in your words and deeds. I have been having conversations, and it's probably why I look a little and feel a little crazy this morning. I'm talking to folks who are calling me about our brothers, young black men, or men who are. I'm thinking about talking to this one gentleman who called me and said, his friends are losing their sons. One son was run over in an accident, another son dropped dead, and I'm just saying to myself, what is going on? What is happening to our young men? And this brother that I was talking to said, I need us to get a break. I just need us to catch a break. Lots and lots and lots of things going on out here. So the thing that I think that is sticking in my head this morning is the Affordable Care Act. I saw that at 2:00 this morning that they're going to allow it to run out, and people are talking about, what's going on, that their insurance rates are going up. In fact, I put it on my page this morning. It's so much, y'all. It's so much. This is why I'm taking off next week, because I just cannot afford to keep running like this and just not taking care of myself. So, the Affordable Care Act subsidies are set to expire on December 31st. In Mahwah, New Jersey, resident Tina Jump recently learned that the premiums for her Affordable Care Act health insurance is set to surge from about $400 a month to over $1,000 starting in January, a nearly threefold increase that she said has left her in a state of panic. Jump, who earns about $72,000 a year as a real estate title officer, already feels financially stretched by the need to cover both her Blue Cross Blue Shield plan and the roughly $415 a month she pays for a prescription drug for type 2 diabetes. I don't know how I'm going to pay for this, she says. She's 59. Her boss has offered to chip in, but she said the higher premium would still be a major strain on her budget. I'm just going to have to cut back on whatever else I can, she added. It's just insane. What's going to happen in the next couple of years? Is it going to go up? With two healthcare bills failing to advance in the Senate on Thursday, the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits, which 90% of enrollees in the government health program rely on to ease the cost of affording health insurance, are almost certain to expire on December 31st. That will leave Jump and the roughly 22 million other Americans who now qualify for the tax credits facing some tough financial decisions. Out-of-pocket premiums will increase 114% on average for Affordable Care Act participants who currently receive the subsidies, hiking their annual cost for medical insurance by $1,016, according to health policy group KFF. That's a huge financial burden for most families, Emma Wagner, a senior policy analyst at KFF, told CBS News. There's not a lot of people who can afford that. Some households could see even higher spikes. A family of four earning $75,000 per year is likely to see their insurance premiums rise by an additional $3,368 without the tax credits, the group estimated. Such a drastic increase in ACA costs would arrive as Americans are already struggling to afford groceries, rent, utilities, and other essential. It's the tsunami of health costs. I don't know if Laura is on here. I'm going to check to see now, because I need to figure out how look. I've always used myself as the barometer. Right now, my health insurance premiums are over $800 a month. $800 a month. I take no medication for diabetes because I'm managing with diet and exercise, as you well know. And really, I only go to the doctor every 6 months just to make sure that, we're okay, that I'm okay, blah, 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 blah. I go to the dentist twice a year. I go to the eye doctor once a year. The basic stuff. So I'm not even using my health insurance in a way that would just, if my health insurance increases to $1,600 a month. Let me be transparent with you. I will have no health insurance. I won't. It is, I don't know what the thoughts are for many, many people. I just don't even know. Laura says, yes, they are, and we're expecting a mess. The Republicans definitely don't have a plan they can introduce in time. I am mortified. Jesus. Right? And even for those people who work for employers, their insurance plans. There was a time when my husband was with his school district, his health insurance premium was less than $100 a month, if that. Right now, it's just a lot. It's a lot, and that was covering me, covering him, full health insurance, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, the whole 9 yards. That's not happening anymore. Now employers are saying we are being charged so much by the insurance companies, you have to come in and chip in with way more than you've been paying right now. And so for those who are civil servants and they need the health insurance, police officers and firefighters, etc., they need the good health insurance because their lives are consistently being put on the line every single day. But for the rest of us, how do we afford it? And then they add, when you go and you have the copay for this and the copay for that and the copay for that. My husband was at the dermatologist the other day and he needed a thing for his skin. He has a really bad eczema sometimes. And the thing was over $1,000. And he looked at them and said, well, I guess I'll. And you have to take this thing every 30 days. Let's talk about it. How are we supposed to do this? What does this look like for the average family? Right? What do we have to give up in order for us to live? Because quite frankly, when you look at the health insurance cost juxtaposed with what folks have to pay for rent, juxtaposed with the insurance, the electric bill, the gas bill. Electric company said on December 1st the bills are going up. The gas bill is untenable. The water rates have increased. Everything has increased but our money. How do you manage through that? Which is why I have been saying over and again, if you can manage with diet and exercise, you don't have to be in a gym. Get up and walk every day. You know your body. Cut out the foods that you know are not good for you. I drove to Lancaster yesterday to get the meats, to get the fresh grains, to get the kind of yogurt that we want to eat because it's made right there and I can't find anywhere else, right? And the meats look so fresh and good because they're not adding anything to it to make sure we're okay. Welcome to Mornings with Marva. How may I help you?
Good morning. It's Laura.
Hi, Laura. Thank you, Jesus. What the hell is going
maybe
on?
I should call in.
What's happening, Laura?
Well, Republicans got their way. They promised, they didn't promise they would sit down and work out a plan, but they made it seem like they would. But it's not. They did not. And they're probably going to push this until the premiums go up. Premiums are going up. Well, everybody knows that, especially on the marketplace.
Yeah.
And through Obamacare, those are the ones that's doubling and tripling. And your own personal health insurance through your job probably will not do that type of rate. So you probably don't have that to worry. It's not that it won't have any type of cost adjustment, but the people on the marketplace on Obamacare, that is where the travesty is happening.
So the people who need it the most are going to suffer the most.
Everybody needs health insurance, but it's a lot of working poor that can qualify. The working poor, they're working full time, and their incomes are just not high enough, or the job doesn't provide benefits. A lot of jobs out here. There are a lot of people that working now a part-time job, maybe 2 part-time jobs, or in the gig economy, and these people don't have benefits, and they're the ones. And it's not like the premiums are cheap anyway. They're not they're not necessarily the cheap. However, it is something. And I believe that when they made Obamacare, it was made to be tweaked. You know, as things go on, you could make the plan better.
Right.
But it was a plan. You know, it was something for people. So now they're gutting it.
But they were chafing when he brought it to fore at the very beginning, right? That we were taking what's her face? Viola says it's an underhanded way of people dying. Tiffany says she believes they're trying to purge the weak. Right? She says, I honestly think they're trying to purge the sick and the weak.
I mean, anything is believable at this point in time because it's just not making any sense at this point in time.
Yeah.
We need to extend.
But Laura, the food that they're feeding us, the medications that they're telling us that we have to take, the side effects of all of that. I mean, who benefits from this?
We're going to have to start taking responsibility for our health care, and they're showing us that we have to do that because our health, I should say, like you're doing.
Yeah.
You're making sure you're in the gym, you're lifting, you're taking care of yourself. And so we have to switch our mindset to we have to take care of ourselves now. I mean, that's a good base to start from.
And I've been saying that for a while now. I think people think that this is, it can't possibly be. And they keep saying it can't possibly be, but it's happening.
It's happening.
It is absolutely happening. So a lot of people are going to die.
A lot of people will die. And not to mention the healthcare emergency rooms that are shutting. The people in the rural areas, they're really, really, they're going to have it the worst.
Oh my God.
At least we're in the city. Yeah. We've got some options. We got plenty of healthcare options here in the city, but they don't. And even when you think about it here, just think about, I can't afford the premiums. I no longer can afford insurance. Where am I going? To the emergency room. To the emergency room.
Yeah. And I think they put all those urgent care clinics out there to stop people from going to the emergency room. But the urgent care clinics are a beast by themselves. You go in and they say, well, we need to have a credit card on file so we can charge you whatever what? No.
Yeah.
No, you take my copay. And so we don't go to urgent care anymore. I'm not going there. I'm just not doing it. If my doctor can't take me, then I'm going to the emergency room because everything is just, it just feels so, the word that I'm looking for is, it's like we're being gouged. We're being gouged to pay for this, gouged to pay for that. We can't afford the food,
exactly.
It's I have to drive an hour and a half to get meats that I feel like are good enough for my body that doesn't have all the hormones and stuff inside of it. It is just too much. It's just too much. And what about the people that don't have cars and have to go to the stores? So, there are a lot of little mom and pop stores, mommy and pappy stores in the city. And I'm thinking about one particular Jamaican one where, if you have a car, you can drive up, to one of the Latino stores and get oxtails for $10 a pound. In this particular Jamaican store, the oxtails are $14 and $16 a pound. People are not driving, right? They're trying to figure out how to get to the corner store to get what they need to do. Everything in that man's store is 200-300% over what, you should be paying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is just another add-on to what's already being dismantled in our government and in our society. I mean, it's going to cause a groundswell. It's going to cause a groundswell of change. But guess what? We have to get through the time that it takes to get people out of office to get the change going.
But in the meantime, we have to think about how we take care of ourselves and support ourselves. So when I go to get my meats now, I said to myself, what do you want for dinner for the week? I cook for the week. No more am I running to it's a luxury now to run to the restaurants and to do this and to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So everything is necessary. I go and the cabbage here in the store locally is plastic. It doesn't taste right. I go up to the Amish market, big old fat cabbage, two of them for $1.96. You understand what I'm saying? Like you feel like you're eating real food, but not
Yes,
everybody can have
absolutely.
the time or the energy or the car or the gas money to drive to Lancaster. You know what I mean? And what if you don't live near Amish country? Because when they come down into to the Reading terminal, the prices go up because they have to
Oh,
travel
absolutely.
XYZ XYZ.
Absolutely.
I
So
don't get it.
that's great that you can go up. You got transportation to go. Some people can't. I guess that would be a way for us to pull together and get some things, especially for our neighbors, family members. Because I was like, Andre, I want to go with you next time.
Because listen,
I really want to pick out some good meats and good vegetables and things of that nature, and cook them up and freeze them, or do cook them in bulk. I mean, we really. Yeah, we should. We need to be saving our money as well.
Exactly.
Jobs are going. We don't need to be.
You see,
it's a treat. It's a treat to go out.
You see the handwriting on the. It is. You see. You see the handwriting on the wall. You do. You see the handwriting on the wall.
It's going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And save like you can. Crazy.
David, not David. I talked to David. David is David Alexander Jenkins. He's hanging in there. But I'll tell you all a little bit about him a little bit later. He was really sick. Breathing was an issue for him, so they had to work with him. So I'm keeping him off the air this week. I keep checking in to see how he's doing, and he's moving along. So, but everybody loves him, so I meant to tell you all about him.
I reached out to him. I was like, David, we miss you. And you taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
we need you around.
I told him to put his mask on, right? So Tiffany says, listen, I shop 2 to 3 stores based on the sale. Fresh Market on Thursdays have a $5 rotisserie chicken. I get it and freeze. Like we get the rotisserie chicken sometimes too. And my husband will, there's a particular, because I call myself diabetic, even though my numbers have been normal, I eat like I'm a diabetic at all times. So there's a specific kind of bread that he gets as half the slices are half the size of a regular slice, and that's what I eat, right? And we get I was growing my own lettuce and tomatoes and stuff out in the backyard. Well, that's dead now. So we make those little sandwiches. We're traveling. If we get in the car and we're traveling 4 or 5 hours down the road, he packs our little thing. We have our sandwiches, we have fruit, we have water. We don't stop at the rest stop to get food. And that's how people keep their money. We're just not blowing because we just don't know what's coming down the pike. We just don't.
Exactly.
We don't.
Save and save.
Viola says, I cook some greens that taste like they're not done. I'm telling you.
Oh boy.
It's some stuff out here. It's some, so try and find out if you can go to the local farms, whatever's in season, buy plastic, she says. You go and you get what you can, and then you share with your neighbors, because we are in a situation right now. Somebody says they cook and freeze the meat. If you've done it. She said, I cook and freeze meals. It's time consuming, but I save money and eat healthier in the long run. Abso-freaking-lutely. Right? I made some brown stew chicken for my daughter-in-law and our family for this week. My daughter-in-law called me yesterday. She says, Mom, she said, I almost slapped your son. And I gave him some, and he was like, damn, when you can cook and you cook, well, this brown stew chicken is everything. She said, you need to sell it. I said, no, feed my grandchildren. Put the plates in front of them and let them eat. And if I'm cooking for the week and I know you guys will eat what I'm eating, then I'll make enough for folks, right? Take kidney beans and stuff and soak them. Not the one out the can, y'all, because the dry ones that you can soak them and just put them in a pot and slow cook them. Add some onions, add some coconut milk, add a piece of beef, because if it's dry beans, it'll take its time to cook. You add a piece of beef in there and you make stew peas. That's our stew peas. You put that over rice, baby. The amount of protein, and it's a meal.
And it stays with you and it keeps you warm.
Yes. So I'm trying to work with all of you around how do we do this? If you know how to make eggs, make egg salad. If you open up a can of tuna, make tuna fish salad. Do something.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if so many people now, their premiums are going through the ceiling, you have to figure out ways to save money. And if you're going to go out to eat, it's a treat. It's a treat. if they have a special running or whatever else. But those days of us running to a restaurant every day,
over. not wise in these particular times.
Laura. So I'll let you know when
Not
I'm going
wise.
back up to Lancaster, because there's a particular yogurt that they have up there called Pequi, Pequ, and let me tell you something. This yogurt is it's fresh, it's delicious. You can tell they make it there, and you can't find it anywhere else. I looked in the markets. I looked everywhere else. They don't have it, right? And so my husband was the one that brought my attention to the yogurts in the market. He said, "Look, they're using this." He said, "You know what this is? This is this." He said, "Don't eat this." I said, "Oh, dear God, God forbid." He knows all the things. He said, "This stuff is not good for you," right? So we have to be very mindful and figure out ways to share with and love on one another. We're
going to have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take, the writing is on the wall, and we see it. You better see it.
Yeah.
Instead of, okay, I can do this. Change that diet.
Yes, even for Christmas.
Change that diet. Get off those meds if you can.
Yes, right.
You've got to start taking care of ourselves.
Even for Christmas,
better. That's a good thing. To be honest,
forces us to be.
But it's painful. It's painful, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's an adjustment, and your taste buds have to adjust. My husband says, every year I ask you what you want for Christmas. I said, every year I tell you I said, look around you. What do we need? He said, Andrea, not a damn thing. I said, what we need is to hug each other, watch some television. Sometimes we get them, we go take a little walk around the block, talk to one another quietly, leave our phones. If we're going on a drive, we enjoy those things, because I'm telling you, it's crazy out here, and we have to figure out how to help each other too, right? In the middle of all of that. So I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't know how else to tell you this. Tiffany says that is a way to save. Eat beans. I'm cooking black eyed peas. Get rotisserie chicken. Eat wings, legs, breasts. Can make chicken salad or soup. Yes. Marguerite says
pot of limas.
Yeah, right.
Pot of limas and white northern beans.
Yes.
And last, you put some turkey necks in there.
Let me tell you something. I'm getting ready to make a pot of soup for one of my dear friends, and it has 12 different kinds of beans in it. 12 different kinds of it takes hours to make, but it has beef, beans, carrots, chocho. I put a couple of dumplings in there, sweet potatoes that I know is good for your blood sugar, and that soup is so good. So good, right? Marguerite says my New Year commitment is to go back to cooking in bulk like I used to. Yep. We're gonna have to
meal planning.
Yes.
Meal planning.
Do that slow cooking. Donette says 10 to 15 bean soup in a crock pot and add some turkey to it. Very filling. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Bake your own big diggity dang bread. Figure it out. We've got to figure this out, because we're in a space where if we have to pay this kind of money for health insurance, plus our mortgage, plus this, plus that, plus car payment, plus insurance, our car insurance is going up too. Everything is going up.
Everything is
so you're going to have to figure out where to do something different. Crazy as hell. Laura, thank you, my darling, because I have Joel waiting for me, and I just want to get him in. Good
morning, everybody.
Good morning, sweetie pie.
Day.
You too, honey.
All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.
Joel said, please drop it. Listen, it's cost 2 peas. All right, I'm going to make some next week, Joel, and I'm going to let you in now. He said, please drop your kidney beans and beef recipe. All right, Joel, I'm about to give it to you. I don't see you. Hey, sir.
How are you doing?
You got pen and paper.
No, seriously, we got recording. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So you're going to take some dry kidney beans and soak them overnight, because dry kidney beans take a couple of hours to make, right? You're going to get a pot, and you're going to add the dry kidney beans and some beef, some kind of beef stew kind of thing, uncooked. You're going to put that in the pot. Let it cook for about an hour and a half until the everything starts to get soft, right? So you're cooking it, and you may have to add some more hot water to it to let it keep cooked. When it starts to cook down and you can see that the meat is getting softer and the kidney beans are getting softer, you're going to add a can of coconut milk. And then you're going to cut up some onions and some pepper, add salt, black pepper, garlic, man, and let it thicken up, right? Because the kidney beans will thicken up as the water boils down from it. It is the most delicious thing. We call it stew peas in Jamaica. It's a really easy recipe to make. You add a pot of rice to it. You make a pot of cabbage or some broccoli or whatever. You can eat that for days. You will be licking your fingers, right? The only thing I think
Okay.
you will need that you won't have is a Scotch bonnet pepper, but I got you. I got you on that. I got you on
I
the
didn't
Scotch
even, what
bonnet
did
pepper.
you say? A Scotch what?
Scotch bonnet pepper.
No, I don't have. We don't.
Listen, delicious, delicious, right? So those things are so healthy for us. Tiffany says, Joel, I'll be signing up in early 2026. I think my god sister in Georgia wrote she's signing up. So people have been asking me. I think Laura wants to sign up. And would you want to know what they're talking about? Hold on, let me just introduce Joel to all of you, so you don't think we're crazy. Joel Wilson is the founding member and president of IBB Investment Group LLC, a diverse group of progressive and business-minded African Americans who work together on various investment strategies to ultimately pour wealth into the Black community in Philadelphia. Let me tell you something. One of the better things I have done in the last 5 years. You started in 2019.
Yes.
You reached out to me in 2020,
Yes.
and I've been a part of you ever since. When everything is falling apart, I was like, at least I got a little change over here. So explain to people what is IBB, because I don't want to make assumptions that everybody knows, right? How many when I joined there were less than 30 folks in it?
Yeah, I'm sure. Probably in the 20s when you
20s,
joined.
yes. And now we're what, 50?
50, 51, the
Mm-hmm.
number keeps changing uh, prayerfully, gracefully. So
Mm-hmm.
we've definitely hit the 50 mark. I know we have in the pipeline probably three or four
Yeah.
who have submitted all their paperwork, but they're just
Mm-hmm.
getting their payment in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have for January meeting, I believe we're going to have about 6 guests coming. So we have a nice pipeline. I do predict for 2026, we will onboard at least 2 partners per month. And if that turns out, that's 24. But you have some we probably will have withdrawals. That's a natural thing. So I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll net up 20 by
Yeah.
the end of 2026. So we should move from 50 to 70 by the end of
Mm-hmm.
next
Yeah. And so explain to them what IBB is, because I keep trying to move ahead of myself since I know what it
year.
is. Tell the folks what it is, please.
Absolutely. So IBB Investment Group LLC is a Black investment club. It is Philly launched, Black owned, and managed, because some investment clubs they have outside managers. So we are fully Black owned and fully managed.
Mm-hmm.
Investment clubs, we're coming up on Kwanzaa. The investment clubs are Ujima in practice.
Mm-hmm.
We
Collective
are
economics.
cooperative
Mm-hmm.
economics. I recently heard a presentation that Dr. Malana Karenga gave about 2 years ago. I caught it on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and he's talking. He did a carve out to talk specifically about Ujima,
Mm-hmm.
and his words, Ujima is collective wealth building, collective wealth building. And, I was like, absolutely. That's where we are. That's what we
Mm-hmm.
believe in. We come together, we pull our money, and we invest
Mm-hmm.
so that we can collectively build. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I really appreciate in how we built IB Big out is that this is one of the rare institutions in which both folks who don't have a whole lot and folks who do
Yes.
have a whole lot can
Yes.
come together, be respected, voices heard,
Yes. As equal
and
partners, whether you put in $2 or 100. Yes.
right, and
Yes.
everyone benefit. Now, it depending on the amount of money you're investing, of course, your your ownership and your whatever you benefit from is going to be proportional to what you have.
Mm-hmm.
But you still are sitting at the same table. No one is excluded.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the discussions I know I've seen on social media, specifically Facebook, that's the main thing that I'm on, is there's a lot of Black folks, professionals, folks who are working who feel very disconnected from the Black community in Philly, and they feel like things could have been done differently to help people in career advancements, civic engagement, political engagement, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have issues. We do have issues. So we need institutions that respect everyone. It doesn't matter what organization you're in or the neighborhood
Mm-hmm.
you live in. All these things don't matter. We got to figure out a way. How do we see each other equally? And
Mm-hmm.
this ties into something else. And this is the good brother, Dr. Martin Luther King, who we love to prop him up, but I don't know how much of what he actually wrote that we read,
Right.
because he's left such a phenomenal blueprint. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the things we're going to do as an investment club is we're going to our second annual MLK Day event will focus on Martin Luther King's last
Mm-hmm.
book. Where do we go from here? Chaos or community? And we're going
I
to
read that
focus.
book. You made me read that book. You brought it up in
Yes,
one of our conversations. I am so stymied by why we're still in the same places all these decades later. We bought
yes,
into the system of if I make enough money, I don't have to live in a certain neighborhood. I can distinguish myself differently. And we forgot to do cooperative economics, right?
right.
In this investment club, most of the people are business owners. Most of us, right? And
About
so
a
we
third.
support
So
about a
it's not the majority,
it's
but it's a
really
lot. It's a lot.
it's
It's
a
a
third of us.
third.
Okay, it feels like
Yeah.
all of us are business owners. Okay, so if I am going to support a business, I'm supporting the Black owned business within that group. So my gym, Audra, Beauty Fit Strong, right? Antoine for his smoothie place.
Sweet Treat Hill.
I'm looking at the Bookers. Cherie, and did the Bookers join? Was this the
They have
first?
not joined, so prayerfully 2026.
Okay. The Syfaxes, I knew they were interested, right? But we go to book,
Yes.
we support the businesses so that if we're going to be doing anything and spending any money, it's cooperative economics because they're going to be the first ones to take a dive and those dive as this economy starts to shift and go downward. I don't know what advice do you want to give people about this, Joel? Because as the holidays approach, I'm not in that. Well, let me go and spend $10,000 for Christmas gifts. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Well, even if we lean again on Martin Luther King, and here I'll point out his wife. So when the four little girls were killed in I think that was in Alabama. I believe it was Alabama. I could be wrong, but it's the four little girls, famous church bombing. Four little
Mm-hmm.
girls died, and his wife came out. And it was right around Christmas time, and Miss Coretta Scott King, she said that this was not a holiday to just buy gifts and go as normal. We're going to hold our money, and we're going to donate to, of course, the family to help them, but to civil
Mm-hmm.
rights causes. But this is a time for us to strategically use our money for our freedom. And I believe we're in that same time frame. We're back to that exact same moment. This is
But what?
not the
But,
time
but why
to
do we have
want
to
our
apologize?
money.
Why do we have to apologize for taking care of each other? You ever notice how we have to quietly take care of one another? What is that about? Why are we made to feel guilty when we're taking care of ourselves and not depending on anyone else?
Well, I don't, but I, my walk is a little different than a lot of folks. I'm one of the few Black people outside of say a minister that can say I've never worked for anyone.
Yeah,
I've once I graduated college, that was the last time I was on payroll.
payroll. Yeah.
So I have a very independent walk, and many of my friends are business owners and entrepreneurs. So very independent. So we don't apologize. But I think for a lot of us, I think a mistake that our community has, and I'll pose a question like this. Think about the church you grew up in. Like I don't know if you grew up in the States, but if you think about the church
Mhm.
you grew up in the United States, black church, what black book or books did you actually read in church?
Mhm.
And most people will say none.
Right.
So, and MLK said in his book that the number one issue or power we had to deal with was ideology.
Mhm.
And the
Mhm.
fact that something called the Tea Party movement and the Trump, and it's been so many other, MAGA,
Mhm.
and we did not, once the 60s ended, we were no longer preparing ourselves for the
Mhm.
ideological warfare that we are in.
Mhm.
And we should have been prepared. And I'm not going to throw that on the school district. I was
Mhm.
prepared for the ideological warfare, not from the school district, but from the
Mhm.
house I was in. From
Mhm.
second grade, I had
Yep.
a fat book, Black History book in the house called the
Mhm.
Afro American Almanac that was put out by Jed or Ebony or something like that.
Mhm.
And my mom told me if for every book report I got in school, if they did not tell me who to do it on, I had to do it from that book. So my whole life, my K-12 experience, I was reading and studying Black history. My thesis I wrote at Central High School to graduate was blacks fought in every war, starting with the founding of the country up through the 1812. I ended 1812 because it was only a 20-page paper.
Mhm.
So I was very grounded. And then when I happened to go to college in the school I went to, they had African Studies department. Now, mind you, I was going for computer science. So when I got there and I saw African Studies, I was shocked. I took
Mhm.
every
Mhm.
African Studies class
Yes.
they had. I have as
Yes.
many credits in African Studies as I do computer science. So
Mhm.
there are things that we could have done and we should have. And we got to get away from the excuses. If I talk to 10 black people about this stuff, nine of them have excuses.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to. We shouldn't have. Yes, we should have.
Yeah.
Because if you go to these other powerful communities, they make it part of their mission to teach
Absolutely.
their people their own
Their
history and
history.
culture. So it is
Absolutely.
ours.
Unapologetically.
Right.
They're not waiting for the schools, right?
Exactly. Exactly. If the schools do it, great. That's the gravy. That's the gravy. But the meat of what we should be doing, it is our
Mhm.
responsibilities. First in the home, and then in every institution
Mhm.
that we say we own. Every
Mhm.
single one of them. They have a responsibility to teach the stuff so that we do not fall victim of ideological wars and
Yep.
our folks can fight and push for our betterment without having to say it.
Right. 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 So because we spend a lot of time pontificating and hollering online, so people know exactly what we're thinking, and the more we say it, the more they're like, "Well, let's figure out another way to keep them. Well, let's give them other things to distract them." Right? Nobody pays attention to what we're doing. When we're trying to build wealth and doing what we can, and you're doing it quietly. We're too big. We talk too damn much too. That's the other thing. I don't
I
understand
know.
why we're not reading, we're not studying, we're not asking questions.
Well, it's not. It's definitely not popular. And one thing I try to challenge other black men because you know, I'm going to speak on shortcomings I see in black men. So I'm gonna stay
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
So if we have black boys, and if the black boy says, "Hey, I'm on the local little league football team, or I'm playing football for school, or I'm playing basketball," then black men will support that in words, in deeds. They show
And
up,
show up.
they give money, they encourage, they ask questions at the family gatherings.
Hmm.
So the child understands of the support and the accolades they're going to get. They understand it. On the flip side, we have the kid that's a science geek. He may get teased at the family event.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I can remember, and this is personal for me. I can remember when I graduated high school, and I did pretty well. By that time I was doing pretty good. And at the family reunion here, I had my accolades I had done. No one really cared. The only thing they cared about, I had some of my cousins who were like basketball players, high school basketball players, and that was the
Mm-hmm.
focus.
Mm-hmm.
So we our kids see the energy where we put it into, and then
Mm-hmm.
if we take it to to the other side, if you have a young guy walking in the streets, and let's say his father's not around for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the men that are going to show them attention, I call them, they are the bad mentors.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to talk to them, they're going to dap them up, they're going to
Mm-hmm.
guide them how they think they should go, and of course this is something negative.
Mm-hmm.
So as black men, one of the most powerful things we can do is be involved in the life of kids, and
Mm-hmm.
so and in a positive way, like
Yes.
be that model that's not leading them to some nonsense. And
Mm-hmm.
so here I lift up 100 black men in Philadelphia. I lift up Taj Murdoch, Men of Courage. I lift up
Mm-hmm.
By the Hood, Fathership Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I lift up Tech for Two, the nonprofit I founded.
Mm-hmm.
So these are, and no more. I don't want to leave them out because they're doing phenomenal work here in the city. So we need organizations like this that's showing a model of how to be a decent, good black man, and this leadership has to come from other black men. So I think that's part of the solution. Nothing is going to be 100%, but if we
Mm-hmm.
can knock away at things in chunks, chunks that we can quantify, and then we have to keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. If someone wants to join IBB, what do they need to do?
Easiest thing is send an email to membership at ibbig.net, membership at ibbig.net. Just
Mm-hmm.
send an email. Now, just to let the audience know, we do vet. So we are
Mm-hmm.
trying to see if any of the partners know you. And if no partner knows you, it may take a longer amount of time because then we got to try to you know, learn something about you for you,
Mm-hmm.
figure out who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
those type of things. So we have events. One of the reasons we have events is so you can, like, if you don't know any partners, you can come out and we can get to know you and talk to you and feel your energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is. It is a little slower than it used to be because now the vetting process is a little bit more involved, but it's for our protection, it's for your protection.
Mm-hmm. 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 All right, Joel. What's coming up next for is it the Martin Luther King
It-
event?
yeah, the MLK event is coming up next, and let me just share one other quick thing on MLK. So if you look at his Montgomery Boys bus boycott, we are still walking. This is
Mm-hmm.
something he wrote. It was a 6 point plan, and out of the 6 points, three of the points all had to do with economics.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the 6 point plan, he wrote three. So the very first bullet he wrote, to establish the first bank in Montgomery to be owned and operated by Negroes. We have found that in the present situation, many Negroes who are active in the protests have been unable to secure loans from the existing banks.
It's still
He wrote
happening
this in
today.
1956.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 point. Number 2 point. To organize a credit union. As a result of the protests, there is a strong desire among the Negroes to pool their money for great cooperative economic programs. We are anxious to demonstrate that cooperation rather than competition is the way to meet problems. So if
Mm-hmm.
that's not Ujima,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
1956,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 6 point. Now check this out. Check this out. To give aid to those who have sacrificed in our cause. Many of them are marked men and women who will be unable to get work in Montgomery for a long time. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot build a movement if we do not stand by those who are victims in the struggle. Spiritual solidarity is meaningless if it does not extend into economic brotherhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
1956.
Yeah.
And one of the things I will say in Philly that I think we could do so much better is that when we do have sisters and brothers who are on that front line, and they are really putting the work in to help, black community. There's not a whole lot of safety net for them, whether it's jobs or, at the end of the day, after you get off the protest or you get locked up, guess what? You still need a mortgage.
Yes.
You still
Yes.
need all of, you got the same financial issues, challenges that we all have,
Mhm.
and a lot of times they're getting the least support. And then for the folks who are not embracing black culture, they are leaving them out to dry
Yeah.
because that may impact whatever corporate lifestyle they're
Yeah.
trying to have. And so,
Yeah.
we I think there needs to be some type of bridge. We should not leave these folks hanging out there, but we got to build institutions that can support them so it's just not lip service. And
Yes.
investment clubs are one of the
One of
ways
them.
that
Hmm.
we can non apologetically support ourselves.
Yeah. Thank you, Joel. I want to wish you a happy holidays. I don't even know if you celebrate Christmas, but
I grew up as a kid, and
mhm,
it was a great time in the house, the family. My parents sacrificed so much. Of course, when I was a
mhm,
kid, I thought it was somebody else doing it, but they sacrificed for all of us. So I just enjoyed that. My
mhm,
nephew's bringing the family together this year, so I
mhm.
enjoy the gathering. But so far as am I going broke? Not
Yeah,
at all.
not doing that. Not doing that at all. Thank you so much, my brother. Happy holidays to you. We'll talk in the new year, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Viola said my children had to watch Eye on the Prize every year. I'm ashamed to say I don't even know what Eye on the Prize is, and I'm going to add that to my list. Starting Monday of next week, I am off. I am off the 20th to the 26th. Christmas Day is my husband's birthday. I am so looking forward to just hugging him and talking to him and whatever the hell we want to do or not do, we're going to do that week. I'm just excited. I don't want to think about work. I do know Christmas Eve, my daughter-in-law is going to pull all of us together in our pajamas and hot chocolate and go see Santa Claus and with the baby. So we're going to do all of that, right? And we're creating family, memories through that. But those tickets to go see Santa Claus, I think were like $10. She was like, we are not blowing money on foolishness. So we're going to make sure she makes sure that everybody's doing it. She's creating this environment for all of us. I'm grateful to her because my son needed her. Lord Jesus, she is so detail oriented, making sure that he has what he has and then everything. And she's doing handprints out of flour so that the babies can give handprints for Christmas gifts to different people. Right? Where can I find Eye on the Prize, Marguerite? I have to find. I'll find it. I'll find it, y'all. I'll find it. Don't worry about it. So, if you ordered black cakes, come get them. Please come get them. You will get them today, tomorrow, Friday, and then Tuesday of next week. That's it. That those are your days. So we'll work it out. I've got a couple people who wanted cakes that could not. I had already run out of cakes, so I'm making one more batch. And then I'm putting everything away, right? So this is it. We're done. Thank you all so much as we get closer to. I know Hanukkah is being celebrated right now. I know there's a lot happening in the country and around the world, but reach out to each other and see how each other are doing. Right? Just make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. Tiffany says she had the book. I've never heard of this movie before, but again, I'm just being transparent, right? As I learn, I go and as I hear, I go and I learn. Take care of one another, y'all. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. Get that in, and it's on YouTube. Okay, thank you, thank you. I'm getting ready to go to the gym, and then I am going to figure out what I'm doing for the rest of the day, right? Just making sure everybody is okay in this process. Love you all. I will see you on Thursday morning, which is Love is Thursday, and then we'll figure out what's happening on Friday. But in the meantime, thank you all so much. This episode of Mornings with Muffle is officially